Well, good morning, everybody. We're reading through Daniel chapters 4, 5, and 6. Daniel is, I don't know if you'd say a prototype. I guess he's not really, well, yeah, we have Joseph. I'm thinking about that here. We have Joseph as an example of a person, who he wasn't in charge. Oh, he was in charge, but he wasn't the owner of it. Let's say there was somebody who he answered to. So that's kind of good. And a lot of Christians aim for that kind of thing. But Daniel is more an example of what we should be looking at. And Daniel was in a foreign land, foreign language, foreign customs. But yet he had such great influence because he walked with such integrity towards the king, that he was actually concerned for the welfare of the king. This is the king that took him into captivity. This is the king that destroyed his home, his country. But Daniel served this king, and he did it with all of his heart, and he did it with love, and he did it with concern. And the king felt that. He trusted him, and the kings to follow trusted him. That Daniel had his interest at heart. Not Daniel's interest, but the interest of the one that he served. And this is a fantastic prototype for us of what it should look like for us as Christians, that we would understand it is not healthy for us to be in charge. It is not healthy for us to wield earthly power. Because we represent the kingdom power. We represent something completely different. And we have so many examples in history of when the church had power, when the church was in charge, what we did with that. And it wasn't good, because power corrupts, you could say it that. Also, the people who rise up in that kind of power don't necessarily have the best interests of people at heart. They don't have that integrity. Quite often it's for themselves. And yeah, it can be ugly, it can be disastrous, and here in Quebec we see the ramifications of that generations later, when the church was very abusive in its power towards the people, and the whole society just threw it off, just walked away, and to this day it doesn't have the power, and people just don't want to give it that position of influence anymore. So much so that we have a government that's trying to really just wipe that out completely from any connection whatsoever of power, of influence in the government. And yet that is the position, because of integrity, that we should be invited to, because the Lord has given us the wisdom. He has given us the wisdom that this world needs to hear. And it is for their benefit. It is for their benefit. That's the incredible thing. And so we have to change our mindset to be influencers, and not the wielder of the power of this world understands power. We have a different power. We have a different place. We have a different purpose, and it's the heart of a servant. It's to serve. To come alongside and serve for the benefit of the person, not for our own benefit. And when you're in that place, it'll cost you. It will always cost you. It cost Daniel. It cost him to stand integrity. It cost him to be in that place where he was hated by people who wanted that position for their own power, and the jealousy that it provoked. And we see it in the church when a pastor or something is invited into a place of influence, and other pastors are, well, how come that wasn't me? How come I'm not in that position? And it can provoke jealousies. And we need to pray against that. We need to pray for wisdom for everybody who might just be off the mark a little bit. We've got to do this right. We have to do it right. We have to understand why we're here and what position that we're supposed to take. So I just want to encourage you in that. If you're in that place, be that influence, and don't worry about trying to obtain power, because if you walk with integrity, you'll discover that the influencer actually wields the greater power. So you guys be blessed, be encouraged. Love you all. Have a great day.